If I am, hello. My name is Alba. I'm your commentator today. I've just popped on. I'm a bit late. I'm sorry if the match is going right now. All right, the stream has just loaded. Am I on the stream? I am on the stream. Okay. All right. So, stream is going. I'm not in the game yet, so I cannot give you commentary just this moment. The battlers do appear to be ready though. I'll be popping in a couple minutes late, but that's just fine. Better a tad late than very late, and better a tad late than not appearing at all. Oh no, my mod list doesn't match. Has the mod list changed? Oh right, no, I'm using the wrong fucking. Oh, sorry. I don't know if swearing is permitted here, but I'm sorry. I'm Scottish. I can't help it. I use the Technic pack. Yeah, update on Curse for. Oh, okay. Well, I'm using the Technic pack. Yeah. I was using the manual pack earlier, the CurseForge one that didn't seem to work for some reason. Um, so I'm just gonna use the Technic pack because I do actually have that download. I do apologize. To anyone watching, thanks for showing as usual. Our first match today is versus Pixelmon Scarlet Korea versus Ashel Pixelmon. Nope, that's nope, wrong server. That's tomorrow. I'm looking at the wrong sets. I do apologize. Um, it is Ashel Pixelmon versus a team I can't see because I'm not allowed to tab out when Minecraft is loading up because it will throw a hissy fit. There we go. Pixelmon Scarlet Korea versus Unlinked. That's who it is. My apologies. Um, is the battle going? I think the battle might be going. Um, so we have a Coco. And we are turn 3. I'm not sure what's happened up until this point. And we have a Clodsire. Obviously, this Coco has to switch out as this Clodsire will just sit in front of it and not really care, even if it is running Specs HP Ice, which it isn't because it tried to Volt Switch. It probably won't hurt it too badly. Also, to the person that asked what PP Recover has in World Cup, it is running on Pixelmon, which currently still has 10 PP. However, PP we do have an extra ruling, I believe, unless this has been changed. PP has been it's either reduced or PP maxes don't work. I can't recall. Either way, it's not 16. Um, although I will, okay, I will as the Clodsire will set spikes, knowing that the Coco does need to hard switch out. As the Medicham, likely Megacham, which it is, comes in, going for the Zen Headbutt, which the Mega Sableye does not care about. Now, I'm unsure what this Sableye is running. It could potentially threaten this Medicham. As Mega Medicham is not the most physically defensive Pokemon, or especially defensive for that matter. It's mostly known for its outrageous damage output, especially unboosted. As it does switch out with the Sableye coming in with a foul play, that would have hurt a lot. But the Slowbro does come in, not taking that much at all. Electric terrain does dissipate if either side is banking on that, then they currently can't. So Toxapex comes in. I see a Mega Sableye, I see a Toxapex, and I saw a Clodsire. This might just be a Stolting we have here. So the Toxapex is paralyzed. Now, of course, the speed reduction won't hurt too much, but potentially missing out on recovery rounds could really, really hurt this Toxapex. The Toxapex does set one layer of spikes. The Corviknight comes out. Yeah, Leroy Pollux, I think that's how you pronounce that. I can't exactly recall the rules on what's happened with PP on recovery moves. It is either that it has been reduced and PP's maxing is allowed, or that PP maxing just isn't allowed at all. I'm unsure. The Corviknight, let's see. Oh, I missed the turn. My apologies. The Corviknight does defog to get rid of the toxic spikes. As a Gliscor comes in and does set rocks as that Corviknight U-turns back out. It is a crit, but it is a Corviknight, so it does not matter too much. Sorry, I am currently tabbed out. I'm trying to find the information on the PP stuff. But I think I'm blind and I cannot find the rules. Format changes, that might be good. We found here. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Did we see rules? That might be what I'm looking for. All right, so the Corviknight did U-turn last turn. It comes in with a Kartana, does take rocks damage, and it does get does use knockoff, knocking off Gliscor's Toxic Orb, which is a bit too little, too late, unfortunately. Gliscor does go for the Earthquake, which does not affect the Corviknight as it comes in, taking more rocks damage. As Gliscor does switch out, as the Pex comes back in and the Corviknight switches out. As the Mega Medicham comes back in. Obviously now we are expecting the Mega Sableye to come back in, I assume, as they do go for the Thunder Punch, predicting the switch. How much does it do? It has not updated on my screen. I have no idea. That might have done a lot. That might have not done jack. I can't tell you. Oh, I finally found the format page. Stall avoidance. Let me see. Okay, so I've checked, and I'm sorry it took so long for me to tell you this. But the PP changes are that PP increasing items like PP max and PP up do not work on recovery moves, so they will only have most of them only have 10 PP. Next time, just go for another Thunder Punch. So as the Sableye goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which will quite heavily affect that Medicham in the long run. It's going to be halving its outgoing damage, which is really going to cripple it in many, many matchups. As the Sableye is now easily able to just recovery spam through anything this Medicham wants to do. Even though this Medicham is still alive, it is kind of useless now. Unless it's going to hit something like for a quad weakness or something, it's probably not going to be threatening anything, especially seeing as that enemy team is running a stall set, which is likely going to mean that nothing there is frail. As the Coco does come in. Does take foul play damage, does take a bit. Tapu Koko does have quite a high attack stat. I believe its base attack stat is higher than its special attack stat, even though it's rarely invested into attack. Even though that foul play is not very effective, it does take quite a lot. As the Clodsire comes in, preventing the Volt Switch. Good call. Either way, that's a good call, because if they went for the Dazzling Gleam... No, actually, no. Yeah, if you went for the Dazzling Gleam there, it would have been not very effective against the Clodsire. And if they did go for Volt Switch, they wouldn't have been able to, so it was a great call. As the Corviknight comes back in, one of the players probably thinking of forfeiting in front of this stall team, I think. I think what they're thinking right now is after that Mega Medicham has been burned, I don't know if they see a way to break through most of their stuff. Corviknight does U-turn out, but does take a bit of chip from the Rocky Helmet as the Coco comes back in, just trying to get any space, trying to kill anything it can. Tapu Koko does go for the Grass Knot. Doesn't do a huge amount. Chansey comes in. The Corviknight taking more and more damage. The Corviknight here is a really important pivot. It's really important to keep that alive. As they do go for the roosts, allowing it to live a little while longer. It's the chance of using Psywave. That's not something you see often. Repeatedly just using Psywave. Does go for the defog, getting rid of those rocks, maybe making a bit of more space for the pivoting. Although I don't know if this team has a huge amount of a shot here. And as I did say before, the player we're spectating here did say in chat that he was thinking about maybe forfeiting this, as he didn't know if he was going to be able to break through what he's fighting. Tapu Koko does come back in, hit by the rocks, which were just set up once more by the Gliscor. Gliscor does go for the protect. Tapu Koko goes for the Dazzling Gleam. As the Mega Medicham comes back in, taking a lot of Earthquake damage, although that is Earthquake plus Stealth Rock damage. And also does get hurt by Burn as well. It's not looking pretty. Gliscor goes for Protect, just trying to whittle that Medicham's health down a bit more through the Burn. Goes for another Zen Headbutt, only doing about 30%. So it does get finished off by the Earthquake, and Medicham goes down, what I presume is the premier wall breaker on Python's side. This first match is looking rough for Unlinked. As the Coco goes down as well, I do not believe they have anything else. They don't have much of a chance here, unfortunately. But they're going to play it out anyway. They're not going to go for the forfeit. They are going to play it out by the looks of it. Glasgow are going for the protect, maybe trying to, I'm not sure, going for a scout, maybe trying to get a bit of poison heal in. Maybe this is a choice locked Cortana. Trying to cement that choice lock. I don't know. Time to go for Leaf Blade again. Not doing over 50 on the Toxapex, but that Toxapex is paralyzed. It might not be able to recover, and it is not, as it does get paralyzed. This Cortana will be able to kill this Toxapex next turn if it doesn't switch out, but I think it might die from Rocky Helmet damage. It does switch out. Gliscor takes a Leaf Blade. And Gliscor goes for the Protect. The Leaf Blade doesn't work. It is regenning more and more through Poison Heal, through all of these rounds of Protect. The Toxapex does come back in, taking another hit. As the Cortana is now down to 3 health, another Rocky Helmet hit, and Cortana is dead as the Chansey comes in, not taking a huge amount. I think Python's just trying to play around this, but I think he's just delaying the inevitable, unfortunately. Toxapex comes back in, the Cortana takes the Rocky Helmet damage and goes down. And that is it. A 6-0 win towards the side of Pixelmon Scarlet Korea. As Irene S2 does win that first match. A 6-0 defeat is very strong. It's very strong on our leaderboards. Python does decide to forfeit at the end. They're not seeing a way out. Yeah, full stall is a very, very strong thing if you don't have the means to deal with it. And I think the only thing that team really had to deal with it was that Mega Cham, a Pokemon with extreme damage output with no boosting required. But it did get burned, and that meant that it just couldn't hit the breakpoints it wanted to hit anymore, and slowly got whittled down, and that was the end of it. Our next one is going to be CK Dolls 07. Not sure how to pronounce that. I might ask. And Modi Bodhi. Modi Bodhi for the side of Unlinked, and CK Dolls the side of Pixelmon Scarlet Korea. I'm going to ask how to pronounce that name. The battle was over because there was a forfeit. They decided not to play it out. They didn't see a way of winning, so they went for a forfeit. All right, the battlers are ready. I assume that they have been sent their previews behind the scenes. If you don't know, teams are sent previews behind the scenes. And of course, their teams can help them both during the fight and before the fight. As the match is starting, we have a Ting Lu. If these are fixed, they can see them now. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was just saying, just explaining that they could actually, they were able to see previews and that we were running previews. As the next match begins, Scarlet, Pixelmon Scarlet Korea won that first match with their full still team. As we see a Cortana and a Moltres lead. I don't know who's using who. I think the Cortana is, the Moltres is used on the side of CK Dolls of Pixelmon Scarlet Korea. And the Cortana is owned by Modi Bodhi of Unlinked. As the Moltres does switch out to a Lopunny. I was slightly concerned seeing the Ting Lu and the Moltres that we're going to have some sort of stall set here, but it looks like we don't have that as the Mega Lopunny does. Well, presumably Mega Lopunny comes in. Also, I did just realize that Cortana is burned because it hit the Moltres with Leaf Blade. That is really going to hurt the Cortana long term. The Lopunny going for deciding to not Mega. It might not be Mega Lopunny. Faking out the Cortana. Getting that flinch in, getting that damage in as the Moltres comes back in. I think I've only seen this Cortana use Leaf Blade. It very well may be choice locked. So Moltres is roosting through the damage. Cortana repeatedly using Leaf Blades. I think it is choice locked. So Moltres finishes its job, taking out the Cortana as the Greninja comes in. Depending on presumably this is a defensive Moltres, depending on the EV spread of this, I don't know if a Water Shuriken kills, but a Hydro Pump almost certainly does. And if this is the Battle Bond Greninja, you do not want to play around it carefully. You do not want to accidentally give it a kill on a gamble as it goes for a Waterfall. This is a physically invested Greninja. Not something you see too often. You do see it occasionally, but not too often. So Lopunny comes back in. Still not Mega'd. I think there's a good chance that this is a non-Mega Lopunny. Which should be very interesting. So fake out again. Go for a hit. Flinching the Greninja. As the Alumamola comes in, taking the Waterfall. I don't know if that Lopunny has anything other than, well, it's only used Fake Out for now. And I believe every single time it's hard switched as well. That might be I don't know, maybe a Choice Band Fake Out set? I don't know. So the Alumamola comes in, there's not much that the Greninja can do about this as it does U-turn out. It is not Protein. I just checked, I don't know why I didn't look in chat before to see if it was changing its type when it was using moves. It was not. It is not a Protein Greninja. So the Haxorus comes in. Olomomola does Toxic. The switching in Pokemon. It was either going to Toxic Greninja, but it does Toxic the Haxorus, which does go for a Dragon Dance. This might be a setup sweeper, and if it is, it's not going to be one that can sweep for long with that Toxic. The Alomomola does wish. I don't know if that wish is for itself or for something else switching in. Haxorus does just keep using Dragon Dance as the Alomomola does switch out, intending to give that wish to the Lopunny. I see what the plan is here. You're going to go for the Fake Out. Yep, which will do an amount of damage, cause the flinch, and let that toxic damage happen even more. This Haxorus has not even managed to use a single attack, and it is at 9.2%. And Lopunny goes for the quick attack, finishing it off. Oh, Scizor does come in with the pursuit, killing the Lopunny. As the Moltres comes out. Losing that Lopunny in exchange for the Hexorus. I don't know if that's an even trade. The Hexorus was it 2 Dragon Dances, but it would have died anyway through that toxic damage. So I don't know if that was a worthwhile trade there. I also don't know if they were expecting that pursuit. I don't know if it says in chat if pursuit procs on switch out, or because it just looks like pursuit was used and no switch was attempted. Yes, unfortunately, I do not believe that was a worthwhile trade at all. As the Regieleki comes in, and the Moltres does expect a switch, so does go for the U-turn. As the Ting Lu comes in. Of course, Regieleki almost always specially invested, and Ting Lu, its ability, of course, reducing special attack. And also, I'm not entirely. I can't remember if this is Rock Dark or Ground Dark, but I think it's Ground Dark. And if it is Ground Dark, then that Regieleki likely has nothing aside from probably a U-turn that can really do much to this. As Ting Lu is one of the best tanks in 9th gen. This turn's taking quite a while. One of the players at least thinking carefully about their move here. Ting Lu goes for the Earthquake. And I can't see how much damage that did because I keep clicking through too fast. As the Moltres comes in, Scizor probably expecting the Moltres coming in, does U-turn, getting a bit of chip in, but not a whole lot. As the Greninja comes back, once again, you need to play carefully around this because although Greninja isn't necessarily too much of a threat on its own, with Battle Bond, it immediately becomes a massive threat that if the team doesn't have the right things for, can just be hard swept. Goes for that. I believe was that a acid downpour? That's the Poisonium Z move. I think that's probably a Z poison jab or a Z gunk shot. Probably a Z gunk shot. No, it's not. Is that a Z move? It is a Z move. Yeah, okay. I think that was a Z gunk shot, as we did see earlier that this Greninja was physically invested. Does do a bit to the Momola, but honestly not that much. It does U-turn out. It's a Momola that turns out. That Z move being used there might be quite unfortunate, as I'm not sure. I mean, I certainly wasn't expecting the Poisonium Z. I don't know if CK Dolls was either. So having that hidden away in the back may have been very good. As the Moltres versus the Moltres come in and the Scizor comes in. I don't know what was expected there. I don't know if they just predicted that maybe the Moltres was going to U-turn out again, but they stay in and they die for it. As both players pivot around each other. That's a very bad call with that Scizor. Losing that will be tough. So Greninja comes in, losing more and more health every time. as it does get hit by that Illumamola's Rocky Helmet, as the Iron Valiant comes in with its speed boost. Ilumamola flip turns out on the same turn. Is it the same turn? Slowking comes in. Yeah, no, that was same turn that switched to Slowking. It's very confused there. Iron Valiant and Galarian Slowking, two Pokemon we've seen a lot so far in this tournament. And I just realized that match, that past match and this match, I think these are the first two matches I've seen that haven't had a Landorus T in them. That's amazing. Going straight for the Thunder Punch and getting the paralysis. That might be big. It does paralyze the Slowking, stopping whatever it intended to do. With that Thunder Punch, it is revealing that this Iron Valiant is likely a physically focused Iron Valiant. Potentially it is mixed, but more likely it is physical. And also, CK Dolls does now know why the Iron Valiant was switched into the Alumamola, and does also know that you'll have to be very careful around it. As the opposing Iron Valiant comes in, but it is paralyzed too, but that is two paralysis procs in a row with that Thunder Punch. It is very lucky, especially on that Iron Valiant, which can no longer win the speed tie. As they go for the Spirit Break, cleaning up. Galarian Slowking comes back in. Does Iron Valiant stays in despite the Galarian Slowking, as they do take a Sludge Bomb, dying from it. And the Greninja comes back in. I'm unsure if it threatens, but it could. But they're playing it safe with the Alumamola coming back in as the Greninja dies from the Rocky Helmet damage. And the Tinglu comes back in, originally going for Rapid Spin. I don't think they were hazards down. I'm not entirely sure what the point of that was, unless it was just raw speed. But it doesn't matter, as Tinglu does go for the Earthquake, leans up, killing the Regieleki and winning Pixelmon Scarlet Korea, winning their second match. Boro. Pixelmon Scarlet Korea with a pretty good showing so far, going 6-0 on their first match and 4-0 on their second. That will look pretty goddamn good on the boards. But Unlinked losing both of their matches so far, quite decisively too. They're going to need to fight harder going up, because they're going to need to at least offset. As right now, at best, if they win this match, they are going to be they still would have only lost. Well, they would have won one match, but they would have lost two, meaning they'll be -1 overall. The best they can hope for is a -1 out of this first fight, but it will be significantly better than a -3 if they lose this fight as well. They cannot afford to lose this fight. As Hay and Damon will fight for Unlinked to try and get them at least better looking on the board. As the manager for Pixelmon Scarlet Korea, Gyumu? How the hell is that pronounced? his name actually Manager? I think his name is actually Manager. But apparently it's been set to Kiyumu. But his name is actually Manager. I'll go with Gimu because that's what I see. If I say it wrong, fuck it. The match is about to begin as both players are ready. As I said, Hay and Demon of Team Unlinked really cannot afford to lose this. Although this is only their first fight in the group matches, going into the going on the leaderboards with a -3 right off the bat is very rough and something that's going to have to be pulled out of. Because even if you go 3-0 in your next matches, you'll only be at 0 overall. So really needs to pull back this match for his side, their side. I don't know. Going against the manager of the opposing Pixelmon Scarlet Korea. The battle does begin. We drove a Landry right off the bat. We can't have can't go through at least some matches without that bastard showing his face. I don't know who the stream is spectating, so I'm not able to spectate yet. I'm waiting for the stream to spectate. I don't know what's happening. Spectating hand demon. Okay. My apologies. So we do see the Mega Lopunny lead and Landorus lead, although I didn't see if that was actually Mega Lopunny lead, as I didn't see turn one. The Lopunny, from what I can see, presumably going for the fake out and taking Rocky Helmet damage, I think, from what I'm looking at. And also, you ask about weird teams. On our first day, we had someone that was using a wishy-washy, and that team almost won. To be fair, though, that was a very strong wishy-washy. So we have seen some strange things here in the World Cup so far. So the Lopunny does hard switch out. Is the Palafin? Wait, oh no, sorry, I'm confused. The Lopunny hard switches out into a Lomomola as the Palafin comes in. Presumably, it was a Palafin lead that I didn't see. And also, I believe it was 2 days ago, we also saw a Swellow show up on a team. And also, that person that used the wishy-washy, once again, shout out to them. Amazing team. They had a Reuniclus at Calm Mind and Iron Defense and almost swept the entirety of the opposing team with just that alone, as they let it set up and get out of hand. As Ilumamola goes for the toxic, but can't toxic a poison type. Ilumamola choosing to flip turn out into what? into an opposing Galarian Slowking. Tane Demon goes for the chilly reception, pivoting out. So Landorus comes in. Going for the Stealth Rock, expecting the pivot, I assume. No, the Slowking going for the Ice Beam, one-shotting the Landorus. Very interesting play there. Just obviously deciding that you're going to hard switch on that Landorus as you're threatened by it. So expecting them to go with something else, a knockoff, a U-turn, or Toxic, a Stealth Rock, whatever. Predicting that and going for the Ice Beam, one-shotting the Landorus. Very good move. Losing that Landorus might hurt. As the Slowking comes in. Yeah, if you're wondering, usually Landorus hard threatens Slowking. So that it's the Galarian Slowking. It's usually predicted that they would switch out if Landorus is on field. And because of that, the Landorus will usually go for a Stealth Rock or a U-turn or a knockoff or a Toxic or something, some sort of utility thing to threaten whatever comes in. And they took advantage of that using Ice Beam as they predicted that, punishing the Lando heavily. As the Moltres comes in. Being paralyzed. Everything's being paralyzed. As the Tinglu comes in. Going for the Psychic Noise. Of course, not affecting a Dark type. As the Rillaboom does come in as Tinglu sets Stealth Rock. I don't know if Rillaboom can threaten a one-shot, but it does threaten damaging as a whole. As it goes for the knocking off Moltres' Rocky Boots. Heavy duty boots, which will mean it will start taking rock damage, a lot of rock damage as it comes in, but it does take a burn in the process, which may prevent it from doing as much damage as it wants to do and may prevent it from threatening some things it wants to threaten. But I think that trade is worthwhile, as I do believe rocks are set on that side. Could be wrong. On the Moltres' side, if they are, then that Moltres is going to start taking 50% of its health if it wants to switch into the rocks now. I do hope Gimu or Manager, whatever their name is, I'm going to go with Gimu because that's their display name. In fact, no, I'll go with Manager because that's their actual username, and they said they wanted that, so I'll go with Manager. As Manager, I do hope they have hazard clearing as both sides switch out. Tinglu, Galarian Slowking, as the Galarian Slowking switches out again, coming in with the Kyurem. Now, I'm unsure what the interactions are here. Um, Ting Lu's ability procced on the turn before Kyurem came in. I do not know. I can't recall if it's just always up or if it only procs on that first turn when it comes in every time. I do believe the Kyurem does threaten as the Tinglu stays in, going for the Whirlwind, predicting it was either going to be a substitute or Dragon Dance. Risky play, but worthwhile, as the Regieleki comes in, something that is threatened by Tinglu. As Tinglu goes for the spikes, as the Rillaboom comes in and goes for the knockoff again into the Moltres. Were hazards cleared? Were hazards cleared earlier, or did that Lando never set Stealth Rope? I am unsure. Either way, the uh, Moltres is coming in fine by the looks of it, unless I clicked too fast. As that Rillaboom is forced out. And it does likely go for a flamethrower or a roost or something there, but it is unable to. As the Regieleki comes in, going for the rapid spin, clearing hazards. As the Palafin comes in against the Tinglu, which does set rocks. I do believe, despite Tinglu's uh, overwhelming tanky nature, I don't believe it can tank a Palafin as it switches into the Alomomola, which doesn't take much. In fact, Palafin takes more from the Rocky Helmet. Grim does come in hurt by Stealth Rock, taking a bit more damage than a normal Pokemon was, as that Ice typing does mean it takes more. It cannot pivot in repeatedly, which I guess is what the Regieleki's there for, but unfortunately, Ting Lu can switch in on a Regieleki and set rocks again. So not a very good hazard clearer in this scenario. Going for the freeze dry, which does hurt a lot, but flip turning. I think it was intentionally going for the slow flip turn, knowing you'd live, and then bringing something else in unscathed, bringing in the Mega Lopunny. This Kyurem is very much threatened now. As the Rillaboom taking the close combat, taking a huge amount of damage. If this Lopunny is running quick attack, it is over for this Rillaboom. And it is! As it does clean up. The Rillaboom dies. As the Palafin comes back in. Remember, Hay and Damon fighting for Unlinked. They are already down 2-0. And it's not looking good for them. I think they can still bring it back, but it's going to be a very tough fight to do so. With Manager having a quite stronger lead, going for the Drain Punch, the Lomomola, taking back a bit of health, but also taking Rocky Helmet damage in the process, negating some of that. As the Slowking comes in, taking the Toxic and not caring. Ilomomola going for the flip turn. Not too unexpected. So the Mega Lopunny comes back in as the Slowking does chilly reception, pivoting out. And the Palafin has revealed it has Drain Punch. So that's not something that can catch Manager off by surprise. Of course, it's quite hard to say what a Palafin is going to be using, as it doesn't have any regular sets, as it's usually not allowed in this format, but it is right now. So Regieleki comes back in, not going for the Palafin. As the Regieleki does flinch, taking quite a bit amount of damage. Although that is that with rock damage? That's not with rock damage. So the Lopunny does switch out. The Tinglu does come back in, not taking much, I don't believe. I don't know, as once again I clicked too fast and I can't see the HP values, but I don't believe that was much it just took. Especially with the special attack drop of Ruinous Vessel. Yeah, no, I'm looking now at the live stream. That hidden power did barely anything. The leftovers restored almost every piece of damage that hidden power did. What does the Tinglu do? Does it decide to set up rocks again? It does have what is likely a free opportunity to do it at once. It could just go for the Earthquake, punishing the Regieleki if it stays in. No, I wouldn't know what it would do if it did. It goes for the Rapid Spin, deciding to stay in, as the Tinglu does go for Stealth Rocks. Of course, Regieleki is faster, significantly faster than the Tinglu, meaning that it does go first. So that Rapid Spin does not do much. So now if it goes for a Rapid Spin again to really get rid of those hazards, the Tinglu can just punish it with an Earthquake, which it does. As the Kyurem comes in. Hazards are cleared though, so the Kyurem can come in without taking Stealth Rock damage. Which may be vital, as that Kyurem is very low health now. Although I believe a Fake Out into a Quick Attack will clean up that Kyurem quite easily. And if it's a Dragon Dance set, it is almost guaranteed not running a subset. I don't quite see Hen being able to weasel their way out of this. The Kyurem goes for the Draco Meteor, likely expecting the switch. Not doing much, and now that special attack drop is going to hurt. Going for Icicle Spear. This is a mixed Kyurem. Icicle Spear does not kill despite hitting 4 times, and the Kyurem is dead. I do not see a way Hay and Demon can work their way out of this. I believe it is probably over from here. I think Manager has managed to win Pixelmon Scarlet Korea, their third match, going 3-0, but I could be wrong. I don't think there's any way Hay and Damon can weasel his way out of this, but I think it is over. Panfin going for the flip turn, switching back into the Slowking. Taking Rocky Helmet damage as well from the Palafin. That Palafin is the only thing I believe that is going to be able to give Haindamon any hope at all. So any damage done on that Palafin, which I believe gets no recovery at all, is going to be really quite bad, as it will be permanent. Well, I'm not quite sure it matters. I believe I can't recall what HP value it was at, but I do believe it is in range of fake out quick attack from Megalopony. Mola goes for the protect. Perhaps scouting out what they intend to do. Negating the sludge bomb. I think any attempt at utility from the Slowking is over. I think raw damage is needed from Haindamon's side. A kill or two is needed on Haindamon's side as the Thunder Wave comes out, negated by Tinglu being a ground type. Going for the Earthquake, doing about 70% or so. Sludge Bomb does poison Tinglu, but I do believe it's too little too late. I think Hairy Demon is just delaying the inevitable here. And Damon, I assume, thinking hard this turn, taking a while to play through. Maybe trying to think of some way to get another kill on the boards. Deciding to stay in. As the Palafin comes out, I do believe this Palafin is their last remaining Pokemon. I could be wrong. Going for the Drain Punch, recovering back some health. Well, I don't think it matters. As the Lopunny does come out, threatening, of course, fake out into quick attack, which I don't believe a quick attack will be enough actually, but it will hurt the Palafin quite a bit. Now here's a question: do you? Never mind, they go for the Drain Punch and they go for the close combat, bringing them to very low, definitely within quick attack territory now. Although this Palafin is likely running Jet Punch, and I do believe the Palafin is faster. Although it could be choice locked. I think it was choice locked, as the Lopunny does go for the quick attack, cleaning up the Palafin and winning against Haindamon 5-0. Taking back another point, manager taking another point for his team of Pixelmon Scarlet Korea, going 3-0 against Unlinked. Now, as Unlinked, you're probably not necessarily panicking, but you're very much worrying now. You're now -3 in the overall leaderboard. If you go against another team and you win all 3 matches, you're only going to balance out those losses, and your points will only be at 0 total. You will not add any points to your overall score. So going into the coming matches, whenever they are scheduled for Unlinked, they will have to work as hard as they can. But Pixelmon Scarlet Korea looking fantastic in the leaderboard, winning all 3 of their matches fairly decisively: a 6-0, a 5-0, and a 4-0. Now, We do have another match coming up. It is an hour from now. The next match will be Poke Valley versus Coliseumon an hour from now. Unlinked, the next team Unlinked is fighting is Squirtle Squad MC, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Next team, Pokemon Scarlet Korea, Pixelmon Scarlet Korea. Fighting next is Astral Pixelmon. Trying to recall how they weighed up against their past opponents. Can't remember. I have the brain of a fish. I do believe, if I recall correctly, Astral Pixelmon and Squirtle Squad MC fought a couple days ago, and I think Squirtle Squad MC 3-0'd Astral Pixelmon, but I could be wrong. It might be the other way around. I can't recall. I should just look in the website. The things on the website. I'll look on the website. Give me a second. I'm very, this is professional. Let's see. No, Astral Pixelmon beats Squirtle Squad MC 2-0. 2-1, not 2-0, 2-1. Squirtle Squad MC winning 1-2 to Astral Pixelmon. Squirtle Squad MC will be fighting Unlinked tomorrow. And Pixelmon Scarlet Korea will be fighting Astral Pixelmon also tomorrow. You can check these, although schedules are highly volatile and are changing quite a bit. You can more or less change them. Check out the schedules on the Discord if you join our Discord. I don't know if there's a link somewhere. There might be. There's a link to the Discord. Okay, there's a link to our. Nope, it's on the website. It is on the website. We do have another match coming up in an hour, as I said. An hour, well, technically 55 minutes, but whatever. Between Poke Valley and Coliseumon. I don't know if the stream is going to be going offline and coming back, or if it's going to be idling for 55 minutes. All right. But for now, at least, I will say thank you for everyone who joined the stream and also who participated in those 3 battles, as well as the people behind the scenes, making sure everything works properly. If you wish to support the Pixelmon World Cup, you can do so on the website. We do have a sponsorship segment. Any support at all is more than welcome. This is a community-run tournament after all. We will be back in an hour for I'm not having to check again. Poke Valley versus Coliseumon. In an hour. Please do come back. Happy to have you there. My name is Alba. I was your commentator today, and I will be your commentator later as well.
I'll be happy to see you then.